Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
Another bombshell secret tape reportedly of Warren Mayor Jim Fouts is leaked.
You know, blacks do look like chimpanzees.
Fouts says it's not him as the pressure on him to resign heats up.
Michigan's longest-serving congressman is the latest to join #inauguration boycott.
I do think it's important that we come together as Americans.
We'll tell you what other members of the delegation think coming up.
And slick roads still a concern tonight as a freezing rain advisory remains in effect going into the overnight hours. We'll start there tonight with Local 4 News at 11. That's not the only advisory tonight. Part of the Local 4 viewing area is under a winter weather advisory.
Ben is here tracking the very latest of that freezing rain and where we go from here.
Yeah, guys, it is still out there, Karen and Devin. But the other thing we got to watch out for is just the amount of water in some of the places that are not under that advisory, like some of the roads around Metro Detroit and the highway underpasses. There's definitely some ponding out there, which could cause you some problems as well. Otherwise, Fort Live radar continuing to paint the pink here north of Detroit and will, at least for the next couple hours. Temperatures are on their way up. We're still right around that freezing mark in just about every location. Metro's at 33 as well as Monroe, but everybody else 32 and below. The warmer air is hanging off just to our south, and that's why that freezing rain advisory is still in effect until 2 a.m. And you talked about that winter weather advisory. That's actually in effect until 5 a.m. with temperatures expected to be just a little bit cooler up there in Sanilac County. But look at how temperatures rise tomorrow. Mid-30s to start out the morning. We'll be into the mid-40s by noon. That will be the high temperature, but rain and even some thunder around tomorrow morning. We'll look at what else is to come with that morning commute in just a few minutes, guys.
All right, Ben, now to breaking news just into Local 4 tonight. General Motors plans to announce tomorrow it is investing $1 billion in its U.S. factories, an investment that will be used to prepare factories to build new models. It'll create 1,000 jobs, we understand. Company has apparently been planning the announcement for months, but it does come after President-elect Donald Trump has attacked General Motors and other automakers for building vehicles in Mexico and shipping them to the U.S. We will follow the announcement tomorrow.
New recordings leaked today, allegedly of Warren Mayor Jim Fouts saying terrible things about African Americans and women.
Of course, this just weeks after the other controversial recordings in which he allegedly was ripping people with disabilities. Tonight, Fouts says it is not him.
Mara McDonald is live tonight with new information on this leak. Mara, what have you learned?
Good evening to you, Karen and Devin, and I can confirm this for you. The person who recorded Mayor Fouts in his office for that first leak is not the person who recorded this, which tells us one key thing. Before all this, we knew that there were 3 people who said they had audio tapes of the mayor. Now we've got an unknown 4th.
If the sound bites are really his voice, yeah, he's in trouble.
The second round of trouble hit just as Mayor Fouts was in public at an MLK event in Warren. The audio recordings were leaked to MotorCityMuckraker.com, turning the event into chaos.
Did you consider us as black chimpanzees?
On these audio clips, a voice which sounds like Fouts uses the N-word.
I remember this one kid in my class, I told you some years ago, he said, we have a party store. He says, my dad have rules. What are they? Only 2 at a time.
Goes on to say black people are like chimpanzees.
You know, blacks do look like chimpanzees. I was watching this black woman with her daughter, and they look like 2 chimps. Their mouths were elongated out, you know, duckish look.
And then savages older women in degrading terms like using the C word.
They're when they're young, and when they get old, they're just mean, hateful, dried up old. Think I want to date a 60-year-old hag? I'm not interested in any old ugly hag. I think after a certain age, they're all dried up, washed up, burned out.
In a Facebook rant, Fouts says this isn't him. An audio expert we went to says it's inconclusive simply because the samples are not large and we don't have the original recordings to listen to. I have been told the person who recorded this is a former employee, and these are excerpts of conversations recorded over a period of time. The source of these audio leaks is not the same as the first, and it leaves the people who live here just shaking their heads.
Unfortunately, it was, another one. It was just like, imagine that. He still couldn't keep his mouth shut.
Pastor Mo Hardwick, who had a one-on-one with Fouts when the first audio recording was leaked, is absolutely furious after this second one.
This man not only needs to be out of office, he needs to be locked up in a cage. He needs a mental institution. There's something wrong with this mayor.
Back here live, Pastor Hardwick tells me he is planning a protest out here at Warren City Hall tomorrow. We're going to stay on top of it. We're live in Warren tonight. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
We sure will. All right, Mara. Now, the calls for Mayor Fouts to resign are coming in from all over tonight, from Congress to fellow mayors. They say if it is him on these recordings, he needs to step down.
If those are his words, he is not and should not serve as the mayor of that's empowered to take care of all the people of Warren.
The tapes are sickening. It's hard to imagine anybody can say those things. And if it turns out Fouts said them, he has to go.
But again, Fouts insists it is not his voice on the recordings.
Representative John Conyers is one of 31 Democrats in the House who are not going to President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration on Friday. This comes after Trump's attacks on Representative John Lewis. Jason Colthorpe was at the MLK event today at Cobo, where Conyers was expected to be at today. Jason?
Expected, Karen, but he did not show up. Other members of the Michigan Democratic delegation did, however, and I asked them, do they agree with Congressman Conyers?
Keep hope alive. Long live Martin Luther King.
Reverend Jesse Jackson highlighting a Martin Luther King Day celebration at Cobo Center today, an event that was scheduled to include Congressman John Conyers, who is not going to President-elect Trump's inauguration.
I don't agree or disagree with anybody. I think it's a matter of conscience.
Congresswoman Debbie Dingell is planning to attend.
I really, really, really respect John Lewis, and it's been a very disheartening day for me. On the other hand, this is a democracy, and there's a certain amount of respect we need to have for an orderly transference of government. So to say that I'm torn would be an honest statement.
Congressman John Lewis, a civil rights icon, sparked a war of words with the next president by saying he wasn't a legitimate president.
Are you acting presidential? Absolutely not.
Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence agrees with Lewis, but is making a point by being at the inauguration.
To me, standing up on Inauguration Day in the face of this madness and saying, here, we in Detroit, the 14th district, Donald Trump, you're going to see me.
And that message was not lost on this day. While Conyers was a no-show here tonight, he tweeted out earlier tonight that he had been at various MLK events throughout the day. Currently, Conyers is the only member of the Michigan delegation who is not going to the inauguration. We're downtown tonight. Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.
All right, thank you, Jason. Millions will attend the 58th presidential inauguration, and one of those people will be our Kimberly Gill. She will have live coverage from Washington, D.C. starting Friday.
After expanding water tests, the Great Lakes Water Authority is ensuring the downriver community their sulfuric-smelling water is safe to drink.
The agency says the water met safety requirements. Samples were also tested to see if the water is toxic, and for bacteria, those came back negative. Additional samples will be collected for more testing as the cause is still unknown. Clinton Township residents had to call animal control after not one, but 2 coyotes got inside their home.
John and Joyce Osborne heard glass breaking Sunday night, and sure enough, a coyote had crashed through a ground level window in the basement. Animal control pulled it outside, but then as they were ready to leave, John noticed another one curled up inside. The animals were released onto the golf course where the Osbornes live. Coyotes breed around this time of year, so animal control says it's common to see more of them around the area. Well, Governor Snyder is going to deliver his 7th State of the State address tomorrow. We hope you'll tune in tomorrow evening to hear his address to a joint session of the Michigan Legislature and the State House chambers. We've got live coverage coming your way at 7 p.m. here on Local 4, and we'll also stream it for you live on clickondetroit.com. Well, they thought it was creative. The homeowner says it's criminal what a group of skaters did to turn his swimming pool into their own playground.
Nightmare nanny, a babysitter accused of crossing the line with the 2-year-old she was caring for. What she was caught doing that has her facing charges.
But first, they're the unsung heroes of making our vehicles safe.
As the population has gotten older, it's gotten fatter, it's gotten more diverse, the crash dummies aren't as representative.
Next, the newest trend in safety that could have crash test dummies looking more like, well, all of us.
Coming up tomorrow on Local 4 News Today, a family-owned spot serving up some savory and sweet desserts all across Metro Detroit. And it's home to a new trademark treat.
Can't wait to taste it. Also, more wet weather moves in, and you can count on weather and traffic on the 4s, as always, each and every morning, plus all the top stories to get your day started.
Yes, join us tomorrow from 4:30 to 7 a.m.
Love the
Keeping us safe on the open road requires some changes in the crash test labs.
I would jab at the dummy guys and saying, your dummies look nothing like my patient.
Of course, safety is one of the most important factors when people are choosing a new car.
The unsung heroes of the safety world are the crash test dummies that sit in for us. 2 local institutions are leading the field when it comes to creating a smarter dummy. Our Dr. Frank McGeorge shows us how.
The official term is anthropomorphic test devices, or ATDs. And it's such a tongue twister to say that dummies just become the common word to say. But it's not derogatory, it's actually quite a compliment, because a dummy is so sophisticated and it has so much capability in electronics and advanced technology that to us it's a compliment to be called a dummy.
Chris O'Connor is the president and CEO of Humanetics, a Plymouth-based company.
We're a small to mid-sized company, and yet we're the leader in the world for this type of technology.
Part of the reason they're ahead is because of a partnership with the International Center of Automotive Medicine, based at the University of Michigan and led by trauma surgeon Dr. Stuart Wang.
It's like CSI. We get a lot of folks together. We look at a lot of data, and we come up with very clear insights into, why injuries are occurring.
Years ago, he noticed a change in the pattern of injuries from car accidents. Some of it because of missed design opportunities due to imperfect crash test dummies.
I would jab at the dummy guys and saying, your dummies look nothing like my patients. They look nothing like the population these days.
When the first crash test dummies were designed in the 70s, engineers could not have predicted changes in the driving population.
It wasn't envisioned that people would be driving at age 70s, 80s, and 90s. And as they are, the anatomical differences of an elderly person vary from a younger person.
What we've been able to do is to utilize information that is now captured with medical imaging from live subjects, and that is the data that we have been, providing to Humanetics to give them better insight into how to design dummies that are more representative of the population.
When vehicles are tested for crashworthiness, a standard dummy is used, but that might create false reassurance.
You select a car and you look at it as 5-star crash rated. You assume it's the same for all drivers, but in fact it may not be. Your body size may react differently to the restraints, to the airbag, to the seat belt, to the seat itself, and as a result of that, it might be less safe for you. Our newest dummy, the elderly dummy and the obese dummies, are intended to reflect that type of person.
So what does a designer of crash test dummies look at when he visits the auto show?
Which airbags do they have? The number of airbags, type of pretensioner, type of seat, type of structure in the car. I think the variation we need to see over time is a variable restraint system or seats or other things that would vary based on the occupant. So as the occupant gets in the car, if it knows, like we all know in our smartphones and everything else, what your body mass index is and your size and shape, then why not have the vehicle adjust to your body size?
Wow, fascinating. I love the idea of smart. I was, by the way, Dr. Frank McGeorge reporting. I love the idea of smarter dummies.
I do like that, but it is as the bodies are changing and the shapes are changing.
And you get to try and create one size fits all, one that is an answer for everything. Tall order. Yep.
Well, here's a look at what I'm working on for tomorrow night.
No matter how hard we try or how much we plan, sometimes it feels like being on time is mission impossible.
I think we're always on the go, always on the rush.
One expert says it's what we're doing at the start of our day that could keep us from succeeding.
At some point, you have to take responsibility and you have to try to fix some of your own problems.
A small step, she says, to keep yourself on time. Tomorrow at 11.
Actually, if you're chronically late, we should probably tell you that story airs at 10:45.
That's true, so they can watch.
That help.
Good point.
A little slick out in spots, depending on where you are, obviously, but the roads have been a little greasy tonight.
Yeah, we've been waiting for this warm air to get here. It can't get here soon enough, but tomorrow morning we could have some headaches of a different sort for the morning commute. And looking down to the south, you can see where that warm air is, just off into northern Indiana. Muncie's at 51, Lafayette right now at 50 degrees, the upper 30s here in Fort Wayne, and of course we're just around or above freezing. Toledo's at 34. That's a data issue. We're not looking at 80-degree temperatures in Illinois, but those 40s are on their way here, and we'll probably see a pretty early high temperature tomorrow, as we said, right around noon. There's a lot more moisture to go, and we anticipate that this rain is going to roll through overnight and stick with us for the morning commute. Could be some rumbles of thunder out there too, so even though it won't be as icy as what we saw today, still could be very slow going with that amount of water on the roads tomorrow. So here's how the forecast plays out. We get that push of water coming in overnight. It could be heavy at times, then a little bit of a break before the warm front lifts, and that's when we're anticipating possibility of some thunderstorms coming in here as we're just south of that warm front, east of the cold front. This low, which has been responsible for all that ice in the Central Plain states, and of course our little burst of freezing rain, is finally going to exit once we get into the afternoon hours. So behind that, generally dry, a lot of clouds, maybe a stray shower, but we will see some slightly cooler temperatures in the afternoon after setting our max right about the lunch hour tomorrow. So temperatures warming slightly overnight. We'll get to 36 to start out tomorrow morning, and that freezing rain becomes all rain once we get past midnight for most of us. Not much of a wind out there, so wind chill's not going to be an issue. And high temperatures tomorrow, remember, average this time of year 32. We should make it into the mid 40s here at Romulus at the airport, probably close to that in the city of Detroit, 41, 43. Downriver, you'll be at 45 degrees. And remember that little area of warmth that's going to be sneaking up here into Monroe County could boost temperatures to 48 in Lambertville, 47 in Monroe. And then the further west and north you are, not going to get quite as warm. In fact, in our west zone tomorrow, there will be spots that stay in the 30s. Milford, Clarkston, Flint, you'll be a couple of those locations. Same goes for the north zone. In fact, even slightly cooler. 37 in Marlette, 37 in Sandusky and Lexington. And remember, that's why that winter weather advisory is in effect until 5 a.m. there versus the freezing rain advisory that expires at 2 for other areas that are north of 8 Mile. And then we'll cool off in the afternoon, stay generally dry with cloudy skies. Temperatures not changing much. Low to mid 40s for highs. Lows will be in the 30s, and no snow in that forecast.
What a stretch.
It's all right.
Way over average.
Peculiar time. All right. Thank you very much, Ben. It is not just a fishtail. They have video to prove it. The dangerous encounter some friends had at sea.
Hello. And this will strike fear into the heart of anyone who's ever hired a nanny or a babysitter. A nanny cam caught a babysitter burning a child with a curling iron. Next.
Look.
A New York nanny caught on camera burning a 2-year-old boy with a curling iron. It was all recorded on home surveillance video. The Long Island mom saw the nanny take a hot curling iron and put it on the little boy's hand and leg. Police say the 21-year-old sitter admitted doing it because the boy wasn't listening to her. She was arrested and charged with assault.
A Houston homeowner fed up and frustrated after skateboarders drain his pool and turn it into their own private skate park. In fact, it's happened more than once. His property's been undergoing renovations, and while that's been going on, a group of skaters old enough to know better, late 20s to early 30s, have come to his home, drained the water, and skateboarded in the pool even when he put locks on the gate. They came back the 4th time, but he recorded them and called the police, and now police are trying to identify the men. Some fishermen landed quite the catch off the coast of Southwest Florida.
As they were fishing on the Gulf Coast, a large 12-foot shark swam next to their boat. Take a look. They decided to toss some bait into the water, and the shark quickly snatched it. The shark disappeared under the boat, suddenly started jumping out of the water several times. The fishermen said the whole ordeal lasted about 30 minutes before the shark managed to break loose and swim away.
I think I know what all the beeps were.
I'm surprised there weren't more.
Yeah, exactly. Just been one solid one.